What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com. And if you didn't see the video I just posted yesterday, it was called that people, Six Things That Motorcycle Dealerships Will Never Tell You. Go check it out. I'll put a link in it in the back, in the end, or on the bottom. And if you guys have any questions, send them to the end. We'll do more questions and answers. Had a lot of great responses on it, and a couple people said, hey, dive into this, dive more into this, dive more into this. The first thing that someone wanted me to talk about is dealership trade-in, and let me just explain that to people. So my background is I was in the automotive industry for a couple of years and really dove into that, and then I moved into motorcycles. I saw a lot of issues with the automotive industry and just the used car industry, and I didn't like it, and I thought, well, I can do it better. I can do it where it's more honest and more transparent, and that's what we've always tried to do. So when it comes to dealership trade-ins, the biggest issue that we get with them is we'll have people and they'll be like, I had a guy the other day, he was looking to sell a bike, and I tell him right out, he was one of our subscribers, watching our videos. I was like, listen, what did I say? I said, if you want top dollar on your bike, do not trade it in. Any dealership that ever says paying top dollar for trade-in bikes, they're just lying to you. They have to make money. If you want top dollar, okay, let me draw a little chart. Let me draw a little tiny chart. Here's the top dollar chart. Dealer retail, private sale, trade-in, and then wholesale is actually, okay. The most amount of money anyone's ever going to sell a vehicle for is from a dealer, because the dealers can back it up. The dealers can say they actually have a reputation that they have to withhold, and they're going to sell for top dollar. So that's how you do it. The cheapest way to sell, or the next best way, if you're not a dealer, then if you want the most amount of money, would be a private sale. Put it on Craigslist, put it on this. The reason people wouldn't do that is just because the hassle and dealing with people, and people telling you they're going to come out, and or if the bike's expensive, they can't finance it, and stuff like that. We can talk about more of that later. The next would be wholesale. If you can go to an auction, which most people can't unless you're a dealer, and buy a bike, that's the next cheapest way. Trade-in is the cheapest way to unload your bike. And so that's what I tell people. I'm like, okay, right now you're here. I'll give you trade-in money for it. Let's say I'll give you, we just had a guy who came in here. I said, I'll give you $1,600 for your bike. A lot of times our dealer retail and private retail is actually really similar because we try to be competitive with everybody. And I was like, listen, best case scenario, you're going to sell this bike for $2,500. $2,500. That's probably what I'm going to sell it for. You might be able to sell it for that. So you have a difference of $900. If you can have two bikes and still buy your bike. So if you can buy this because you want the bike, if you want to buy this bike and have two bikes for about a month and then sell this bike privately, you could save $900. If that's worth it to you to go through the hassle of doing it, that's awesome. Definitely do it. So if you want to get an idea of what your trading cost is, don't come to a dealership and think that, oh, I think he's going to sell it for $5. I think I can sell it for $5, and think that you're going to get $5 for it. If you can sell for $5, he's probably going to give you maybe $3 or $25. And you also have to be when you're trying to figure out how much your bike is worth, you need to, and this is especially with the metrics. We had a guy the other day who he had a 2008 Yamaha Roadliner, and we looked countrywide to see what these bikes are doing, and he was like, I think I can get $8,800 for this thing. He wants to sell it to me for $8,800, and I was like, I wouldn't sell for that much. You can find brand new ones for $9,500. An '08 compared to a 2018 is only a couple $100 difference. Why would they buy your bike? You know, so it's I hope that answers the question about trade-in. And dealerships use trade-in as one that they want to get rid of their bike, and they want to it gives them a new bike. A lot of times they're not going to make as much money on the trade-in as they normally would if they went and bought the bike themselves, because it's an easier way to get it. But it doesn't make sense to buy a bike, for someone to buy a bike. Let's say they think they can sell for 25 and to pay 25 for it, stuff goes wrong. Oh, the starter went bad. I got a new battery. Now I'm losing money on the bike. You know what I mean? So they need to make money off that bike. And if you want top dollar for it, sell it privately. Sell it privately before you show up to the deal, and then you just buy the bike and not deal with anything. The second thing was, okay, buying new old stock. Now, this is not really a problem that Harley Davidson has. Harley Davidson is really, really good at they basically sell all their bikes. They might have 2017s still sitting there, but they don't have 2016s or 15s or 14s, or it's very unusual. They also hold the line very well. Now, if you find a dealership, let's say you want like an R1 or an R6 or some cool bike, you might find a dealership somewhere in the country that has one that might have a 2014 out there. That's 4 years old, a dealer brand new stock. And I've heard of situations where you can just steal those bikes, just get them so cheap, because the dealership, they might be losing money on it. They have kickback rebates from the manufacturer to sell them cheaper. So if you were to do that, you would call a bunch of Honda dealerships, because they'll do these rebate programs, for like $2,000 off the deal or something like that from the manufacturer. So you'd want to take your time, call around, make sure they're doing one of them programs, and get the best possible deal. But I've heard people just get deals, just stealing them. Like a bike that was 14 grand is now 4 years old. They're getting it for like 8. But you got to keep an eye on those special dealer fees, Another thing. Okay, someone wanted me to explain salvage title. Let me explain to you the way Pennsylvania works. I know how some other states work, but the way Pennsylvania works is we have a regular title. It's a clean title, no issues with it. And then if you wreck your bike, all right, let me just explain what a salvage title is. And most states are very similar to this. If you wreck your bike and it goes through the insurance, now you can wreck your bike, you can destroy your bike, never call the insurance company, and put it all back together, and you will have a clean title bike that was in a catastrophic accident. If you wreck your bike, and we've done videos of how you can see it's almost impossible to put a bike completely back together. It's very rare they're going to do this, put it all back together and have no signs of it ever being down. And we've done videos about that. So you wreck your bike, it goes to the insurance company. The insurance pays you for the bike. You buy the bike back. So the insurance is like, hey, your bike's worth $3,000. We're going to give you $3,000 for it. Now we own the bike. And then you say, I want the bike back. So they're like, okay, we'll sell it to you for $500. So you give them $500 back. You put the bike back together. Now in Pennsylvania, and at that point, they have issued you a salvage certificate. It means nothing. You cannot put the bike on the road with a salvage certificate. It's not a title. Now what you can do is, in Pennsylvania, you can rebuild the bike. You put it's a hefty process. It's a very big pain in the butt. I've done it once for a bike that I had when I was a kid. I would never do it for the dealership to sell a bike with an R title that I put together. Such a big horrible process. So you have to show all the money you put into it and how you fixed it, and then you have to go through an enhanced and PA inspection. There's only a few enhanced PA inspection companies out there. Once you get it passed, they say it's good. Then they give you an R title. That means it's been rebuilt. If you are, and like I said before, someone corrected me, it's very, very, very rare for a dealership to sell an R title bike. It almost never happens. There's not that many bikes. There's not that many vehicles out there with R titles. We've sold 2, and because our prices are so cheap, we used to get the question like, is it a clean title? That when I had an R title bike to sell, I made it so transparently obvious to everyone. You watch, I must have mentioned it 1,000 times in the video, and the walk around and the listing, I think I put right on there our title. And it was so cheap, just so it wouldn't taint the rest of my inventory. But if you're buying an R title bike, it is harder to sell, but it's got to be half the price. It's got to be about half the price of a regular clean title bike. Now, if you want to look at track bike over there, I bought that bike with a clean title, and then I took the bike apart because it's a track bike. I sold the clean title frame for a couple $1,000, and then I bought a salvage title frame and stuck it in there for a couple $100, and now I have less money in a bike that I'm going to wreck anyway, and it's never going to be on the street. So I hope that explains a little bit of it, but it's very obvious. Every single state makes it very obvious. In Pennsylvania, if it's an R title, they write it all over. It's like R title, it's all over the place. If you have any more questions about that, let me know. Then there was one other person that was kind of jumping on my back about the dealer fees. Let me find it. I don't see it. Well, what he was saying was about, he's like, and I guess he works for a dealer. He's like freight and prep is a real thing. And I'm like, I know it's a real thing. My problem is with the industry, that everyone's on this race to the bottom to get the cheapest price. And I understand that, but then everyone hides fees. So I wish that the, and things have to go this way. People are going to get more and more disgusted that I thought it was $5,000. Yeah, you got this, and this, so it's $7,000. That's going to annoy enough people that they're going to walk away. And once it does that, dealerships will start. They'll start saying, "Okay, listen, it's $7,000 out the door," and then the next dealership, which no one wants to do that because it makes their prices less competitive. Because hey, this guy's $5,900 and you're $7,000 out the door. There's an unknown right there. Now, unless more people start saying, "Hey, this is what the out the door the price is with freight and prep," then I think customers will be happier. Now, it's hard for you to, it might be hard for them to do that because initially their prices look more expensive than the other guy's prices, but they're actually being more transparent. A problem with these import dealers is that I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. This is what I know from the import dealers. They're not making any money on these bikes. I've heard about it's so incredibly competitive. It's not like Harley Davidson, they actually make money on the bikes. That's awesome. I'm all about that. I don't care if they make money. I know they're more expensive, but they do make money on the bikes, which Harley will survive because they actually make a couple bucks on the bikes. These there's no dealer holdback, not very much for these imports. So when you walk in there for a brand new bike and you're like, "Hey, let me get this for less," they genuinely cannot move on that price because they were only making a couple $100. There's a couple models. I was at a Polaris dealership. There's a couple models that they have. And I'm like, "How much money do you make on these things?" He's like, "We make about $25 to $50 when we sell them." And I was like, "This is insane. Who cares? Why would you even want to sell it?" Sean, that kind of wraps up all of my questions or all of my statements on here. If you guys, let's go to the question board, and anyone who asks questions, I'll try my best. If you want to answer it, ask it again, jump on there and do it. I've got a credit union with 4.5% used and 2 for new and have it shipped. We use U-Ship all the time. Use U-Ship. Okay, if you're gonna ship a bike and you're gonna use U-Ship, make sure they only transport motorcycles. I've made this mistake once. I won't do it again. It disgusts me when a guy pulls up and he's got like a bed and a tractor and a bunch of other weird stuff in his trailer. He's like, "There's their spot for the motorcycles." It's got to be an enclosed trailer, only motorcycles, and the U-Ship's suggested price is actually pretty close to what is. You can use that. Use the U-Ship's suggested price, and you can probably get it. You might be able to get it cheaper, but you might take a little longer time. All right. Have you ever heard of a buy here, pay here for motorcycles? It's John Smith. Question: have you ever heard of a buy here, pay here for motorcycles? If you guys don't know what buy here, pay here is, it's for very, very subprime buyers, which means you have bankruptcy or very bad credit, and you actually just pay the dealership right there. And I'm not. And the reason is they do it with cars. It's extremely high interest rate, but they do it with cars because realistically, they can find the car. They can go repo the car. That person needs to drive it every day. They can find the car and repo it and recoup some of their money back. With a motorcycle, you stick it in a garage, you stick it inside your house, you hide it in a basement, they would never get it back. If you knew, if someone knew that someone was trying to take their bike, they would make sure it's not going to get found. That's why they never do that. Now there are companies that we work with, like One Main, that they give loans to people who no one else would ever give loans to. They are high interest rates, like closer to like 20-some%, really close to like the state maximum. And anytime someone ever uses one of those companies, I tell them, I'm like, listen, do not pay the payments during this entire term. You cannot afford it, right? You cannot afford to pay, let's say, $20,000 for a $7,000 bike. Pay that bike off within 6 months. Pay it off within a year. That's what you need to do. If you wanted to get this bike right now without paying cash and do it this way, you gotta make it your goal. Get a second job to pay that bike off as soon as you can, because it will cost you way too much money, and I don't want to see you in that situation. I can't talk them out of it. I would say to everyone, yes, Ross, if you were looking to finance a bike, especially a used bike, the absolute best way to do it is for you to connect with a credit union and so go to that credit union first. That's how you know how much you want to spend. Go to the credit union and be like, I want a bike, and they'll be like, we can do this much, and then you can get a check from them, or you get a pre-approval from them. Go to the dealership and say, hey, this is the bike I want to buy. I'm already pre-approved. Blah blah blah. What would you say? The guy asking about the V-Star Tour. I need a year. I need a year of miles on that one. Let's see, any more questions? Hello from Victoria, BC, Canada. One guy said, Sean, should I always ask for a purchase order if I'm serious considering buying that bike? You get a total out the door price. Yeah, that's a great idea. Do that. Try to avoid those doc fees. I think they're nonsense. We don't do them. When we sell a bike, if the bike is listed for $5,000, we sell for $5,000. And then if you're out of state, that's it. $5,000, come pick it up, you're gone. No hidden fees, no dealer fees, no doc fees, no none of that stuff. That's all put into the bike. You know what I mean? My goal is to be very transparent. It would make me mad when I go to a place. I'm like, when you go buy groceries, you know what you're going to spend. You're like, okay, I'm going to spend this much. I'm going to pay 6% sales tax or whatever tax rate. You know what you're going to go into it. These secret dealer fees are so confusing that no one knows. So you're like, hey, I'm paying $5,000. How much do I need? $7,000. I have no idea. They're not transparent about it. I don't like it. Did you ever sell a bike you purchased? It's getting fixed. We're taking it to the shop Monday to get it fixed. And actually, we got a 82 650 Maxim that runs pretty good. I'll do a video on that one soon. We do not sell bikes on consignment. It's not worth the hassle for us. It's not worth the space. The problem with selling bikes on consignment is I like to control the whole situation, and a lot of times customers want more than what they think their bike is worth, and I have to price my bikes to be very competitive and to sell them very quick. Another tip is to get the VIN to get the most accurate quote on your motorcycle insurance. That's a thing. That's a tip. All right, guys. Okay, this is off topic, but how do you buy bikes that you resell? We buy them a lot of different ways, but mostly we help car dealerships trade in motorcycles. All right, guys, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, throw them in right now. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, I already read that one. Wish everyone a sense of business and knowledge on how to treat customers. Wish I lived near you and not disabled. Would definitely buy a bike from you. I mean, we ship bikes all over the place. I'm sorry to hear that you're disabled. Yeah, I just try to be. I want to, you know, I'm a Christian. I believe I'm held to a higher standard, and I want to treat people the way I treat people the way I want to be treated. Do you have any Raiders in the shop? We didn't get we just rolled in not a Raider but a Roadliner. Just got in a Roadliner. I really like the Roadliners. I like them better than the Raiders, actually. I like the style better. Video will be coming up that pretty soon. My bad, came in late. Just thought it was a free Q&A. Phil, what's your throw it out there, man? We're at that point where we're done. We're on random Q&As now. Also, do you have a crate fee when buying new? Also have a crate fee. Yeah, crate fee is a joke. Crate fee is so ridiculous. All right, guys, we do finance, and crate fee is a joke. Now we do a crate fee when people buy out of country, but I'm pretty transparent about that. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. Customers are coming in. We will see you guys later. Where in America are you? We're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. How do you feel about Honda Interstate? I mean, they're good bikes. They're personally not my style. Do you guys buy bikes without the customer buying a new one? Yes, we do, and we're actually working on a program that we can buy bikes nationwide from customers. Yes, Amish country. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off. Hold on, maybe this guy's not coming in. We got time. We got time. What's the question? I don't know. This guy's sitting in his car. Maybe he's not coming in for us. Sean, wish me luck. I'm working on buying my first bike this Monday. Ross, what kind of bike you buying, and why are you not buying a bike from us? What's your deal, man? I live in Western New York and just broke my ankle. I have a very nice Vulcan 1500. Any chance you'd be interested in and need money for bills? Yeah, Scott, Scott, go to our website. Oh, this guy's coming in. Scott, go to our website, get our information, and then contact us. I will see you guys later.